Hey world, it's your host Marshall. Thanks for tuning into my podcast, Run On Thoughts. Here we talk about everything and nothing because we are not afraid to be all of ourselves even as we evolve. And that's my thought for my fellow thought thinkers as we unpack our traumas, past hurts, and other BS. Y'all ready? Let's go. Hey thought thinkers, I'm back at it again for another episode. It is an early Sunday morning and it is the last Sunday before Christmas and I am very excited to be here. I welcome all of you to listen to all of the podcasts and all of the journeys that we have been on. There have been some very intense episodes, but the goal has been and always will be to unpack, unlearn, and to heal. Most importantly, to become your most authentic self. And it's not about getting it right today. It's about knowing that you are going on a journey. The journey is life, but it is important what you bring on this journey with you. Before I get started, I want to stand in a place of gratitude, and I want to thank any single solitary person who has ever listened from the very first time, and to all of you who are listening for the first time. I want to say thank you. And I know that you guys are listening because my podcast analytics are up 200%. Can you believe that, family? We are growing. Thought thinkers, we are growing. I welcome you to go to runONthoughts.com and listen and become a thought thinker. I welcome you to listen from your favorite podcast streaming site because we are there. We are growing, and I am doing my best not to talk about things that are in the media because here, this is supposed to be a safe space. This is a safe space free from judgment. We are not judging others. We are judging ourselves. We are doing the work of ourselves because I am telling you, there are so many things out in the world that you will not even care about if you do the work of yourself. And today, what we're talking about is joy. And I know I talk about joy a lot, but I was out at Bryant Park with my cousins, Kim, Vicky, and Madison, and she was saying that she recognizes that I am always choosing joy. And that is the right word, choosing joy. I am always choosing joy because ruckus, drama, bad things, drama, all of the things, they find you. They do not need your permission. Pain, sickness, confusion, all of those things, they don't need you. They don't need your permission to show up. But there's something about joy. There's something about joy that you have to choose. You have to find joy, and you have to be willing to take joy on the journey with you. So today, we're going to get a little deeper into joy because you can't just choose joy. It is choosing joy over acceptance. There are a number of you who can't choose joy simply because you give a damn about what other people feel or need or think. And I don't give a damn. And I realize that when I'm telling you guys to do things, that there's a core in me that really doesn't give a damn. I don't know where it comes from. I believe that it comes from observation, watching my mom and aunts do things that I know that they never wanted to do for the sake of what society said was right or family said was right, but they weren't happy or fulfilled. And I believe that you can exist in a state of joy and do the job that you have signed up for. I tell you guys all the time that I became a teenage mom and I feel like I have made no sacrifices. What does that mean when I say I have made no sacrifices? It means that Although I did not want to or was not ready to be a young mother, once he got here and I saw his face, I made a choice. I chose. I chose to be a decent mother and do the best that I could with what I have. Because that's also how I choose to do everything. I want the most of whatever I can afford. And I don't just mean afford financially, the most of what I can do, where I can be, who I can love, what I can learn. I want the most. I want to absorb. And then this choosing joy over acceptance, it seems like for many of you, it is going to be an act of rebellion. It is going to be an act of rebellion. You are going to literally have to dig deep down inside of you and make this choice. And that's why today I want to talk about something that I know we all have went through. Something that we all want but don't always know how to protect: our joy. Joy is like war for me, because I'm not talking about that surface level joy. Everything's perfect. I'm not talking about that type of joy. I'm talking about the kind that comes from being comfortable in your own skin. If you've ever found yourself changing who you are and shrinking your voice or chasing approval just to feel accepted, today's about you. Just to feel accepted? What is this fascination with being accepted? Stop needing to feel accepted. That's why I really want to talk about what it means to choose joy over. You see that? Over acceptance. Acceptance. I don't know what word I just said to you guys. There's these quiet ways we give our joy away while trying to fit in, gain approval, or be understood by everyone else. But true joy is having a relationship with yourself. You guys don't understand how freeing it's going to be to finally choose yourself. When you finally make the choice to choose yourself, you are going to feel free. And that is what I want for you guys. I want you to finally choose yourself. You got to protect your joy. And that means releasing the need for validation. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Who cares what people think? No, really, who cares what people think? Have you ever thought about how all the people who want you to do something are always unhappy anyway? I keep talking about this. They're not happy out there. They're not happy out there, and yet they have a script that you should follow because they're mad that they followed the script, and now they want you to join the script so that you could be equally as unhappy. Get the fuck out of here. We're not doing that. And we're just not doing that. This funky ass world that tells us constantly what to be, how to act, what success should look like. Protecting your joy becomes an act of courage, rebellion, war. You see all these words that people like to take and use and make sure that good people are walking around with their head down, while I keep telling y'all that evil, bad people, they use these terms all the time. Bad people protect themselves, protect what they want to do, but they need you. They rely on you to walk with your head down. They rely on you to feel small. And I don't want you to feel small because it's exhausting. chasing other people's approval, conforming for acceptance, and measuring your worth through the opinions of others. Others who I keep saying are not even happy. When you outsource your joy, it becomes fragile, easily shaking, and endlessly delayed. And I don't want that for you. And I tell you guys all these things because I try to choose topics that I have explored, that I have been through. Because the truth is, I know that most of us are experiencing the same things in different ways and different feelings, right? And there are some things that bother you more than they bother me, and vice versa. But we're all struggling to be ourselves because we live in a world that wants to cut us off at the knees and make us into something else. There are very few people who naturally fit into the status quo. But if they do, that's okay. It's okay if they're being their most authentic self. But it's not okay if that's not who you are. It's not okay. You're trying to fit these square ideas that you have into these round pegs. It's not okay. Right? Don't you think that it's time to explore what it truly means to reclaim your joy? And guys, that means that it's time to release the need to be liked. Release the need to be validated. Release the need to be understood by every goddamn person that you walk by. It's time to learn to feel at home in your own skin, trusting your inner voice, and choose authenticity over applause. Clap for your motherfucking self. Joy isn't something that you earn through perfection. You already know how I feel about perfection. I believe perfection is evil. I keep saying that because it's a thing that lives nowhere. It's not on the journey. You can't look up and see perfection. You can see humans and things and ideas. You can see and experience, but perfection doesn't exist. And so many of you are on a quest for perfection, and yet you are leaving joy behind. Which is why once you get joy, you got to protect it by honoring who you already are. When your happiness depends on validation, compliments, or fitting into someone else's expectations, joy becomes something you're always chasing, but never fully catching. Never fully catching. Ain't that some shit? I want you to hold out your hands and I want you to catch the joy that surrounds you in the entire world. I want you to do this. I want you to enjoy who you are without needing anyone else to sign off on it. This isn't about being careless or disconnected. It's about becoming grounded, confident, and joyful. Once again, I'm going to say it, in your own skin. In your own skin. You guys know what some of the things are that steal your joy. You know what that is. And if you don't, this week, that is what I want you to think about. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? It could be simple things. It could be abstract things. It could be a good nap. It could be good movies. It could be a good book. It could be experiences. It could be time with family. It could be time with the family that you've chosen. But joy is something that you have to take on the journey. I said at the beginning of this podcast that I believe my joy comes from observation and from the many unjoyful experiences that I had as a child. And when I looked at the women in my life, and men for that matter, they weren't happy here. My mom was not happy here. And as an 8-year-old girl, I knew that my mother wasn't happy here. I didn't really know why she wasn't happy. But I could see through her eyes that she wasn't choosing joy. Like, why couldn't we just leave? Why couldn't you just give it back? I tell you guys that all the time. Why are you carrying the shame of what other people have done to you? I don't understand that. It's not yours to carry. They've given it to you because they want you to be small. They want you to be in a position where they can steal your light. And I'm telling you, hold your head up. Do not allow them to steal your light. The enemy wants you to live in darkness because it is dark. But in order to continue for it to be in a gluttonous state of taking, it needs your light to see the way. So I have chosen joy as an act of rebellion. I have often been called weird. I don't really even know what that means. I've always been self-aware. Even when I was aware that I wasn't right, or I was scared, or I had so many things, insecurities, or things that the world had given me, or even that I had come into this earth with, right? It all doesn't come from the outside. Sometimes it's our perception of the outside. But that's why it's important to have a relationship with yourself. Get to know yourself. It's December, it's my birthday month, and I have been extremely busy, thought thinkers. And just yesterday, I was like, oh my God, I'm enjoying the acts that I am doing out in the world, but this can't be all the time for me. Because I need to sit in and reflect on the joy. Let it source through my soul and be with me. I don't like being on the run. I like to come home, look through the things that I have bought, put them away. I put everything away. But that's just for me. That's my practice. If you enjoy going out every day and you can receive the world and you can be at one with yourself, that's fine. But I can't do that. And that is what this is about. It's about honoring thyself. Because when I honor myself, I am able to honor others. I am able to honor their truth. I am able to honor who they are. I am able to love and be loved. I am able to give more love because I have filled up my own cup. There are some who have called me arrogant. I can't be arrogant. I'm just going to say that to y'all, and I don't give a fuck who thinks it. And the reason I can't be arrogant is because although I believe that I am great, although I believe that I am the whole shit, I absolutely want that for you. I'm not hoarding this feeling. I'm not gatekeeping the feeling of joy and the feeling of self-validation. I am sharing with you how I got here because I want that for you. Because I believe that you will have a better experience as a human when you no longer seek outside validation and can find what makes you joyous and live in it. Yesterday, I had the nerve to have on a sequin sweatsuit with red Christmas socks and my high top Crocs and a freaking Jones of New York cape that looks like a Burberry cape. And I was happy. And I went to Bryant Park and I went to 34th Street with my cousins and we had a good time. We had a good time and my feet didn't hurt. And I was comfortable and I was being all of myself because I do not care what others think or see or feel about me. It is about how I feel about me. When people say stupid shit like you shouldn't be wearing that because you're 50, once again, the thread through many of the podcast episodes is who the fuck are the they? Who are they? Who are the they that tell me what to wear? Who are the they that tell you that you shouldn't be doing something? Who are the they that tell you to leave your safe village to go out into the world? Who are the they? Because let me tell you something about the they. The they benefit from everything they ask you to do. But do you benefit? Do you benefit? None of the people that have ever said to me, when are you going to get married, although I've had 2 marriage proposals, has ever had a happy marriage. The people who are happy or perceived to be happy have never said, when are you going to be married? But those who are not happy have said, when are you going to be married? It's not about marriage or not marriage for me. It's about joy and accepting myself. If I find someone who I can share my joy with and not have to dim my light for, that's another question. If that doesn't happen, I'm still not going to dim my light. I'm still going to be living a life full of joy. You see how simple that is? I'm not trying to subscribe to the life that someone else has planned for me. I'm living the life that I want to live. I am exploring. I have just entered 50. I have lived 50 years on this earth. And I am not going to let another motherfucking second go by without me existing in a full state of wonderment. Wonderment. That doesn't mean that everything is always going to be happy. That is why I am telling you that you must carry joy with you at all times, because shit is always going to find you. But you need joy to balance it out. You need joy there when you are crying, so that after you have the good cry, you can look around and you can find joy. What brings you joy, guys? What makes you always feel? I don't care if it's old school hip hop. Play it before you leave for work. I don't care if it's work. First of all, detach. You work for money, motherfuckers. For money. Work is not your identity. Detach it from yourself. It is a skill that you may have, but you work for money. We live in a capitalist society. What do I want to be when I grow up? Nothing. Marshall, I work for money, and I use the money to add to my joy, to my living, to my being able to search for joy in places that you can control. Because remember, we don't get to control everything in our lives. Adults don't really get to do what they want. There are laws and all these other things. And that is why you got, where you can, choose yourself. Where you can, choose joy. Where that small window of doing what you want to do, fill that motherfucker up to the brim. And for me, that is loud colors and crazy clothes and celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving to the max and choosing the family that I want and affirming myself and watching Christmas movies and drinking fancy hot chocolate. It's the little things for me, and they turn into big things over time. I have created traditions with my joy, and that warms my heart. So I want to share with you guys some things that I've written down. 3 ways to protect your joy. I'm going to share it as a blog post on runONthoughts.com, because I realize that some of us need to read things over and over and over and over and over again, because we are so afraid to give ourselves permission. 1, stop handing your self-worth to other people. I told you guys once that someone told me that they tried to break me in a relationship and they couldn't. But I told them that they couldn't in the first place, because I know exactly who I am. Can you make me cry? Yes. Can you hurt my feelings? Yes. Can you take from me? Yes. But you can't motherfucking break me, because my name is Marshall L. Wilson and I am all of myself. I know who I am. You can't tell me something. I understand projection. I understand when people say something. If someone says to you, oh, you're in a relationship and someone says, oh, you're fat. Projection. Because first of all, you might be fat. And I'm sure if you're fat, you know you're fat. Right? But someone who says they love you, calling you a bad name, speaks more about who they are than who you are. I had a boyfriend once call me a black bitch. I wasn't offended. Because guess what? It's projection. First, the black word. It projects how he feels about blackness. I see blackness as beautiful. And so because I see blackness as beautiful, you can't make it ugly to me. I feel sad for him, another black person that sees his own blackness as not attractive. Poor him. And the bitch word, well, I might be. So I was not offended. I know who I am. And if someone is choosing to be with you and speaks ill of you, they are insecure because they are with you and or trying to control you through your weaknesses, which are their weaknesses. So many people want you to be less than them. One of the quickest ways to lose your joy is letting other people decide how you feel about yourself. When your confidence rises and falls based on opinions, you're constantly on edge. Protect your joy by reminding yourself that your worth isn't something other people get to vote on. You are already enough. Enough before approval. Enough before praise. Enough before acceptance. You are enough. You're seeking validation because you have been trained to seek the validation of others because it gets you to be a consumer. It gets you to give its light, your light to it. You are enough. Your quirks are enough. Stop letting other people tell you that something is wrong with your lip or your nose or your eye or your hair or your butt. Because I don't got no butt. But I'm 50 years old and have gotten everything I want, so I don't give a shit. And first of all, it's the giving a shit that people judge it. You can't really judge me because I don't give a shit. And I can snap back faster than a snapper, so there's that. You want to rumble with the bee? Let's go. Next, let opinions pass without taking them personally. That's the projection thing that I talk about, okay? Don't let them penetrate through your skin. Not every opinion needs your attention or your emotional energy. People see life through their own experiences. People see life through their own wounds and beliefs. And that has way more to do with them than it does with you. Protect your joy by learning to listen without absorbing. You can acknowledge someone's perspective without letting it define you. Hear them. That's it. It's not about you. There isn't a motherfucking thing that someone can say about me that I give a fuck about. Now, if you're sharing how something I do makes you feel, that's easy. If you don't want me to call you something, that's okay. It's not who I am. I don't feel no way about that. And you know why I don't feel no way about that? Because I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know that that's not my identity. Because if you do something I don't like, I'm going to tell you. And if you keep doing it, I'm out. I quits. Anybody ask about me. And lastly, choose being yourself over being accepted. That's exactly what this whole podcast episode was about. Trying to fit in often means leaving pieces of yourself behind. And over time, that creates resentment emptiness, and disconnection. Protect your joy by choosing authenticity, even when it feels uncomfortable. The people who are meant to be in your life will connect with the real you, not the version of you created to be accepted. And that's why I have joy, guys. I have joy because I walk in my truth. I walk in my whole self. And all those who do not align with my whole self, I have excommunicated them from my life, or they have left. And that is okay. I do not need to be liked by everyone. I do not want to be liked by everyone, because if you are trying to be liked by everyone, I know for a fact that you are mother effing exhausted. You are exhausted and you are insecure and you are afraid because you do not know who likes you for you. Because none of them like you for you. You're acting. And the fact that you're acting makes you insecure and feel like someone is always going to leave you. Who the fuck wants to be left for who they're not? I want to be liked for who I am and respect you not liking me for who I am. I'm not for everyone. You are not for everyone. We are not supposed to be united with everyone. We are not on the same level. And that doesn't mean that you are beneath me. It means that we are not on the same energy field for learning and life and where we're going. You simply might be going someplace else better suited for you. And that's okay. Protecting your joy isn't selfish. It's necessary. The more you honor who you truly are, the lighter life feels. As you move through your week, I want you to ask yourself this. Where am I giving my joy away in exchange for approval? And what will it look like to choose yourself instead? I'm tired of talking to you guys. Bye.